What if I told you that the calendar of heaven has already been marked? That before July 11, something is going to shift. Something visible, undeniable, unstoppable. This isn't fear-based. This is faith-based. Because when God declares a thing, it's not a suggestion, it's a decree. And your life is about to intersect with prophecy in a way that changes everything. Have you ever noticed that divine timing never needs human permission? When God sets a schedule, no force in hell, no delay on earth, no resistance from man can stop what's already in motion. Time to God is not just a ticking clock, it's a tool, a servant, an instrument of manifestation. When He says something will happen before a set time, it will happen. Some of us keep asking, when, God? When will it be my season? But the truth is, your season has already been written. The truth is, your season has already been written. It's not coming. It's appointed. You don't need to make it happen. You need to align yourself with what's already been decreed. There's a difference between waiting and positioning. One is passive, the other is prophetic. Before July 11, certain things will start falling into place. Doors that were welded shut, suddenly they'll open. Delays that made you question your assignment, they'll turn into divine detours that now make perfect sense. Because divine timing is never late. It may feel delayed, but it's only aligning all things for maximum impact. Don't confuse silence with absence. God has been working behind the curtain, behind your pain, behind your confusion. The set time is not about your feelings, it's about fulfillment. And this is the moment where time and truth collide. You'll start to see that some relationships are being removed, not because you're being punished, but because the next phase of the prophecy cannot include old weights. Your circle will shrink, your clarity will increase, and your spirit will be stirred. You'll sense it, you'll know it, your soul will whisper, it's time. The divine calendar has already flipped forward. And you're not waiting on a sign. You are the sign somebody else has been praying for. So the question isn't, will it happen? The real question is, are you ready for it? Because the moment you accept God's timing, you step out of stress and into strategy. And just when you thought the revelation couldn't go deeper, wait until you hear what's next. Heaven has issued a countdown, and it didn't ask Earth's permission. When God releases a decree, it doesn't go through public opinion, it doesn't wait for political approval, and it doesn't pause for your circumstances to catch up. It activates instantly. The realm of the Spirit begins to shift, angels are dispatched, resources are aligned, and heaven's calendar starts ticking. This countdown isn't measured by minutes or hours, it's measured by obedience and preparation. Some of you can feel it deep in your spirit, like a spiritual alarm clock ringing, louder and louder. It's not anxiety, it's awakening. It's not pressure, it's purpose, pulling you toward destiny. It is awakening, it's not pressure, it's purpose, pulling you toward destiny. Why July 11th? Because there are moments in time that are not ordinary. They're prophetic, set apart, sacred. And this is one of them. Heaven has a date circled, an appointed moment, where destiny is about to collide with those who are in position. Not those who are busy, not those who are popular, but those who are aligned. This countdown isn't about fear. It's about focus. You don't have time to waste. You don't have time to entertain distractions. You don't have time to keep explaining your vision to people who are never supposed to understand it. You've got to lock in. Because heaven doesn't move for spectators. It moves for participators. The next few days aren't just dates on a calendar, they are windows. Windows of access, windows of realignment, windows where revelation will pour out faster than you can write it down. And if you're not paying attention, you'll miss the moment, trying to maintain what God already called you out of. Heaven has started the countdown. The trumpet has already sounded in the unseen. And while some people are still asleep in the natural, you've been called to wake up, rise up, and step into the flow of divine momentum. You don't need another confirmation. You need a confrontation with your own calling. Because what's coming next isn't waiting on permission. But if you think this countdown is intense, wait until you hear how creation responds to a command from God. When God speaks, creation doesn't hesitate, it responds. Instantly, mountains shift, seas part, winds obey, and even time itself bends to His voice. He doesn't need to shout. One whisper from eternity can reorder everything in the natural, because His voice is not just sound, it's authority. That's why when a word is released from heaven, it doesn't echo, it creates, it forms, it activates. Things that didn't exist before suddenly come into being. Dry bones begin to rattle. Closed wombs open. Dead dreams resurrect. All because one divine sentence was spoken. Creation is not confused about who's in charge. It has always known its creator. It knows when to move, when to wait, and when to shift. And here's the key. If creation is responding to the voice of God, why are we still hesitating? Everything around you is already preparing for what God said would happen before July 11. The atmosphere is shifting. The environment is being rearranged. Favor is being repositioned. But some of us are still waiting for confirmation when all of creation has already said yes. He didn't ask your situation if it was ready. He didn't consult your bank account, your emotions, or your past. He spoke it. And now the earth is aligning with the word. Heaven has spoken. Now earth is catching up. The ground beneath your feet is more aware of your destiny than your doubt is. The heavens declare the glory. The skies are preaching purpose. Even the trees are clapping their hands. The question is, are you still questioning the word while creation is already moving to fulfill it? This is why strange things are happening around you. People are acting different. Resources are being released. Timing is being accelerated. It's not chaos, it's divine construction. And if the rocks would cry out in your place, then why would you stay silent? If nature knows how to respond to a word, then so should you. Because when He speaks, things don't stay the same. But if you think creation is responding now, just wait until you see what's been scheduled to unfold next. There are 5 prophetic events that have already been set in motion. Yes, 5 that are about to unfold before July 11. Not because a preacher said it, not because someone guessed it, but because heaven declared it. These events are not random. They are precise, they are timed, and they are deeply connected to the purpose of those who are listening right now. The first, exposure. Things hidden in darkness are being dragged into the light. Secrets that were keeping you stuck, both in you and around you, are being revealed. Not to shame you, but to free you. What's exposed cannot control you anymore. The second, shifting of positions. People who held power unjustly will be removed. Leaders in spiritual, political, and relational realms who were never anointed for where they stood are being rearranged. And guess what? God is not promoting resumes. He's promoting readiness. The third, sudden connections. Out of nowhere, divine relationships will be birthed. People you never met, voices you never expected, doors you never knocked on, suddenly open. These aren't casual encounters, they're covenant alignments. The fourth, wealth transfer, but not the kind that just drops money into your lap. This is wisdom, strategy, business, inheritance, ideas that unlock income, favor that releases resources, provision that funds the vision. You won't have to chase it, it's been assigned to chase you. And the fifth, an outpouring of clarity. No more confusion, no more God, is this you? No more wondering. The fog is lifting, and when clarity comes, movement follows. You won't just know what to do. You'll feel a fire in your bones that won't let you stay still. These 5 events are unfolding now, not next year, not someday, but now. Before July 11th, your life may not look the same, not because of chance, but because of prophetic precision. You've been prepared for such a time as this. But if that sounds like a lot to process, just wait. Because the next thing you need to understand is this: nothing truly happens until it's declared in the Spirit. Nothing, absolutely nothing, happens in the natural until it is first declared in the Spirit. That's the order, that's the law. Heaven speaks and earth responds. The problem is too many people are trying to change their reality without ever changing their realm. They focus on fixing things they can see, but they ignore the power of what's already been said in the unseen. You see, every miracle, every breakthrough, every shift begins with a word, a declaration, a divine utterance that carries the authority of heaven. You cannot build what hasn't been spoken. You cannot walk into what hasn't been released. And you cannot expect manifestation without first engaging in proclamation. That's why the enemy doesn't fear your plans, he fears your voice. Because your voice is your weapon. Your declaration is your sword. And until you say it, you won't see it. Life and death are in the power of the tongue, not just in your thoughts. What you refuse to declare, you delay. What you boldly declare, you activate. So let me ask you, what have you been speaking over your life? Have you been repeating your fears or releasing your faith? Have you been echoing defeat or prophesying destiny? Because nothing changes just because you hope. It changes because you speak. Heaven is waiting on your agreement. The spirit realm is listening for your alignment. You were never meant to be silent in the middle of a spiritual war. You were born to speak what God said, even when everything around you says the opposite. Before July 11th, some of you will see doors open only after you declare them open. Some of you will see healing come only after you reject the curse and announce the promise. Some of you will walk into the next level only after you speak to the mountain and command it to move. Don't wait for the natural to change. Speak to the unseen, and the seen will follow. Don't let your mouth contradict your destiny. Use it. Command it. Declare it. Because once it's declared in the spirit, nothing can stop it from manifesting in the natural. But if you think this is powerful, wait until you understand the winds that are about to shift in this very season. There are seasons where the winds simply blow, and then there are moments when they shift. This season, the winds are not just blowing, they're turning. They're turning. They're moving in a new direction. And anyone with spiritual ears can feel it, The atmosphere is announcing change. The momentum is not random, it's prophetic. What used to push against you is about to push with you. Winds represent more than weather. In the spiritual realm, winds are movement. They are signals that something is about to be repositioned. And if you've been feeling pressure, turbulence, unexpected change, that's not warfare, it's realignment. Before July 11, the winds of transition will begin to blow stronger. People will leave your life without explanation. Opportunities will close that you thought were forever. And you'll wonder, what is going on? But it's not rejection, it's redirection. The winds are shifting, not to destroy you, but to carry you to where your feet could never take you. These winds are uncomfortable, but they're intentional. They'll blow away dead weight. They'll scatter what's been holding you back. They'll break cycles that have lasted for years. And most importantly, they'll carry the sound of a new season. You'll begin to hear differently, discern differently, move differently. The familiar will no longer feel safe, and the uncomfortable will start feeling like home. But you can't resist what God is using to carry you. You can't fight the wind and flow with His will at the same time. You must lift your sail, surrender your control, and let the wind take you where His word has already prepared a place. And hear this clearly. The wind is not coming for everyone. It's coming through those who are positioned. If you're still trying to cling to the last season, you'll miss the gust meant to launch you into the next. This isn't just a breeze, it's a divine current. So let the wind shift. Let it rearrange. Let it accelerate what's been delayed. Because what's coming isn't a storm, it's a strategy. But the real question is, are you aligned with the agenda that this wind is carrying? Because what comes next is not optional. It's already written. There comes a moment when alignment becomes more powerful than ambition. You can have dreams, visions, goals, but if they're not aligned with heaven's agenda, they become distractions in disguise. This next move of God is not about being busy. It's about being in position. You must align your life, your thoughts, your relationships, your time with the agenda of the King. He's not blessing random activity. He's blessing divine alignment. That means you can't just ask God to move. You've got to move with Him. That means if He's shifting, you shift. If He's redirecting, you follow. If He's closing a door, don't sit there and cry. Thank Him and step toward what's next. Before July 11, many will feel a pull, a divine discomfort. You won't be able to explain it, but something inside will say, this isn't it anymore. That's not confusion. It's clarity in disguise. God is calling you into position because He's not releasing favor just anywhere. He's releasing it at the place of obedience. You can't afford to be in the wrong room, connected to the wrong people, giving time to the wrong assignment. Heaven is too intentional for wasted moments. Every second matters now. Every decision must be filtered through this question. Does this align with what heaven is doing in me? If not, let it go. Cut it off. Move forward. Because the next outpouring is not for the talented, it's for the aligned. You don't need to chase applause, you need to chase alignment. Because once you're in position, the flow begins. Resources find you, doors open to you, strategies come through you, and peace surrounds you, even in the middle of pressure. Alignment will cost you comfort, but it will give you clarity. And clarity is what's required for the next instruction. Because what God is about to release won't make sense to the unaligned. So before you pray for more, ask, am I where I'm supposed to be? Because in this season, location determines manifestation. But if you think alignment is the end of the process, wait until you see how time itself has been appointed for your rising. This right now is not just another moment in your life. This is a divine appointment, a set time, an orchestrated season, not planned by man, but written in heaven. And when God sets an appointment, it cannot be cancelled, it cannot be delayed, and it cannot be stopped by anything on earth. You were born for this moment, not by accident, not by coincidence, but by design. Everything you've walked through, the pain, the lessons, the waiting, the warfare, it was all preparation for what has already been scheduled on heaven's calendar. The season is not approaching, it's already here. Some doors won't open until the time is right, and some doors won't stay open unless you arrive on time. That's why obedience is critical in this season, because when the appointed time comes, you won't have time to prepare. You'll need to be ready. Heaven is not going to wait for you to get it together. This isn't rehearsal. This is release. Before July 11, appointed moments will begin to manifest. You'll feel divine nudges. You'll walk into rooms you didn't plan. You'll meet people that seem like chance, but they were assigned. And if your spirit is awake, you'll know this is it. This is what the waiting was for. This is the moment everything shifts. And yes, it will look unfamiliar. It may even feel overwhelming. But don't shrink back. Lean in. Because your appointment has nothing to do with how prepared you feel. It has everything to do with what God already placed inside of you. What's in you is about to be required. No more hiding, no more doubting, no more delays. The moment is now. The call is clear. The door is open. The question is, will you step into what's already been written? Because you don't need another prophecy. You are the fulfillment of one. And now, as the final word echoes in your spirit, take a deep breath. Let the old fall away. Let fear melt. Let clarity rise. This isn't hype. This is heaven's announcement. You were chosen for this season. You were called for this hour. And no matter what it looks like, everything has been leading to this moment. Now rise, because your time has come.